Hey, what up, everybody? This is steviebreech coming to you with a good old DVD review of none other than the Biz Cliz Party from your good friends at High Spots. Basically, this is the, it was called the Bullet Club Party for a while. A great, using that word kind of loosely, sit-down interview if you're a fan of Talking Shop. Hosted by Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson of the Bullet Club, New Japan Pro Wrestling fame, Tama Tonga down there in the middle. He is a guy that is featured probably on more than half of the episodes of Talking Shop. Talking Shop, one of my favorite podcasts of all time. Today, well, we knew that the last week there wasn't going to be an episode because they came out and they said, hey, because of the stress of Wrestle Kingdom 10, they weren't going to do an episode last week, and then the news broke the night after Wrestle Kingdom 10 that Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, as well as AJ Styles, a good friend of the Talkin' Shop podcast, and Shinsei Nakamura. Not a lot of the Japanese guys were on Talkin' Shop. It was mostly just the American guys staying at the Tokyo Dome Hotel were on the show, but this was good. This was fun. This clocked in at just over 2 hours. The first half an hour is a lot like an episode of Talkin' Shop, where there's too many mics, too many guys, and everyone trying to tell a different story. Everyone's talking over themselves. But the first 30 minutes is a lot like Talkin' Shop. If you're a fan of Talkin' Shop, you'll really love the Bullet Club Party. If you head on over to High Spots, you have to look for it as Biz Cliz Party. This was due to I believe a New Japan Pro Wrestling copyright issue or something like that. High Spots just changed the name, started printing out the DVD covers with a different DVD cover. If you go to High Spots, it's advertised that if you buy it early, you will also get a free 8x10 with the DVD. I didn't get the 8x10, so I'm guessing they've sold out, but they haven't, taken the time to take that down off at the listings. So don't get heartbroken. As you can see, there's friends that come join the party as well. You see Brian Myers, aka Kurt Hawkins, up there at the top, who was serving sort of as the host at the beginning of the show, who kept on trying to ask, how did you guys meet? What were your guys' first impressions of each other? And you get to hear a lot of stories like that. There's a lot of BLLs being slammed. There are a lot of natural lights being served. You see Luke Gallows' wife, the Bullet Babe. She makes a few run-ins during the show. There's almost a party that's not a part of the party. There's as many people hanging out in the back. You can hear them, but you can't see them. Machine Gun Carl Anderson is trying to prove to the world that his hot Asian wife is real and it's not a gimmick. She comes to the party quite a few times, but is quite shy and doesn't want to say anything. She's on camera for a few minutes and then just sort of disappears. Carl Anderson's trying to get her to sit on his lap and trying to prove to the world that he's going to get laid once it's all said and done. But really, really fun. Tama Tonga tells a story about beating up a referee who messes up a finish. Tama Tonga tells another story about beating up a promoter, who I don't know if it's because they didn't pay him or they didn't pay him enough, or I don't really know what the story is, but he beat the shit out of him, he says. And it is what it is. But a real fun sit down interview. Like I said, this isn't great. It's 2 hours. The first half hour is good. The hour from there, you're wondering why you're watching this. And I'll say that maybe the last 30 minutes, definitely the last 15 minutes, is gold. At about they say that they have to go 90 minutes because the man behind $5 Wrestling, the Man Scout Jake Manning behind the camera is I guess you can say the director or the guy that put this all together for High Spots. And he's you don't ever really see him, but you hear about him. Basically, they say that normally when you're doing like a sit-down interview that's being filmed, there's a guy behind the camera. He's looking into the guide to make sure they're getting the best shot they can. He's all excited because, they got a good show going on. They say that Jake Manning is actually sitting down next to the camera, actually about to fall asleep. And it is what it is. They keep calling this the worst DVD of all time. I didn't think it was the worst DVD of all time. I've definitely seen worse shooting reviews, but as a fan of Talking Shop, hopefully I'm supporting them by buying this. I bought it on the Black Friday High Spot sale, and I'm glad that I have it. The best part of the documentary, of the interview, of the DVD, whatever you want to call it, is Luke Gallows and Brian Myers telling a story about being at WrestleMania 25's after party, and basically sitting there trying to look out over the crowd. This is after Kid Rock had played, and the party is sort of dying out, and they spy a drunk honky-tonk man sitting in the back of the party, just pissed off, looking at everybody like fuck the world, and basically they go over and they sit down and they just get a live shoot interview from Honky Tonk Man. And I don't want to go into too much because I don't want to kill the DVD for somebody, but I will tell you that honestly, this DVD is $20. If you're a fan of Talking Shop, support Talking Shop, because we're never getting another episode unless these guys just get fired, and that's not nice to say. I'm rooting for these guys to have all the success in the world. Here's the DVD on the inside. They sort of cut off Brian Myers' face. They sort of cut off everybody's face except Tama Tonga. If you're wondering, this guy is a tattoo guy, and I never really got who this guy is, but I think he's a independent wrestler around the High Spots, Carolina area. But here's the back. Real kick-ass pictures of Tama Tonga, Luke Gallows, and one of Machine Gun Carl Anderson there. But just over 2 hours, the Biz Cliz party delivers.